Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, Bardock, the father of Goku, this upcoming DLC for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Now, I'm not gonna tell you guys why this has been confirmed, because if you're late to the party, this was confirmed by DBS Hype. I made a video about this. Go check out my video where we talk about the confirmation. In this video, let's talk about specific. Let's talk about how deep is this DLC actually going to go. So to understand that, we have to first understand what's the story behind this, and also what manga or Z content we could be expecting, because this is really important to understand the content. Many people are complaining about the fact that there's no super content in Dragon Ball Z. They wanted the Dark Black Goku, or they wanted Tournament of Power. Guys, this is a Z game, get over it. This is a Z game, which means we're only gonna get Z freaking content, right? So, first is that the Father of Goku TV special was released in 1990. Now, this TV special was a special in which Bardock did not turn Super Saiyan. This was a special in which Bardock was effectively fighting against the forces of Frieza. He fought against a couple of them. So in the battles, we have the following battles: Bardock, Great Ape, Tora, Borgos, whatever, versus other Great Apes. Then we have Bardock and Tora and Tolo. Vegeta versus Cyberman, Goku versus King Piccolo, Goku versus Piccolo, Tora, Bardock versus Dodoria and his elites, Goku versus Vegeta, Bardock's visions, Bardock versus Frieza soldiers, and Bardock versus Frieza. So we have here a couple. So also we have here that Bardock has some visions, which again, these visions, are they going to happen in the actual DLC? Maybe. But the fights which are going to happen 100% is going to be obviously the ape version. I would love to have it. This one. Okay, Vegeta, most likely, because it's a classic one, or potentially. And then we have this one, and this one. So we're looking at potentially 4 to 5 Bardock fights. Maybe, of course, they can extend it a bit more in terms of like story fights. You can kind of like flesh it out a bit. So we're looking at potentially 5 to 6 fights, right? This is only for the TV special. Now, the TV special, like I said before, was released in 1990, but then that's when we got another special, which was a 3-episode manga or 3-chapter manga, which was then adapted into a movie, which was Dragon Ball Episode of Bardock. Now, this was a, so to say, spin-off. It says Dragon Ball, it doesn't say Dragon Ball Z, it says Dragon Ball, so it's not really part of Super, so to speak, it's part of the Dragon Ball Heroes. Now, Dragon Ball Heroes is a video game, so they could potentially combine this particular story, which in this story he actually fights against Shield and he becomes Super Saiyan. This is the one where he actually goes Super Saiyan. Bardock never went Super Saiyan in the Father of Goku in this one. So in this one he just gets eliminated by Frieza, and that is pretty much it. That's the story of Bardock. Bardock gets killed by Frieza and he doesn't even have to like struggle too much, because he just gets obliterated very, very quickly, right? So with that knowledge in hand, of course, the next question is, if they're going to do this, how can we be sure of how much content we're going to get? Again, this is quite simple to find out, because if they want to combine it together, the furthest this will go is doing this DLC, as in including this particular original story with this one here, and then making sure that you can go Super Saiyan, because otherwise it wouldn't make any sense to have a new DLC with no transformations. It would be pretty much cool to have at least one transformation, right, as in Super Saiyan. Now, the good news is that even if this doesn't happen, even if they don't give us the actual transformation in Super Saiyan, I am pretty sure that they will flesh out this particular story quite extensively and give us a lot of detail, because we're talking here about quite a substantial DLC. We're talking about a massive DLC. This story was 48 minutes. If you guys remember, the DLC with Trunks, also the TV show, was like about 45 minutes, and the whole DLC for Trunks was about 10 hours. So again, they can flesh it out massively, add lots of combat, lots of animations, lots of story, lots of dialogues, and at the end, remember that we did have this fight with against Dabra, which was not part of the special, that was part of the manga. So in the flashback for Trunks, where he remembers like person what happened afterwards, after the fight against the androids, in the manga super flashback about the Z content, he talks about the fight against Dabra. right? So this could be similar here because it's a flashback to events which happened in the past, or better said in the future, but the past, right? It could be that they want to bring it back here as well, which means that with that logic in mind, because they covered that element, of course, in there in the Trunks I mean, I say DLC, that means that obviously this would make a lot of sense to have this particular DLC also and the transformation. Now, Bardock against Gas, which is again a kind of like backstory in the past, which is now being covered in Dragon Ball Super current manga, Bardock versus Gas. Okay, that one I really doubt is gonna be covered because it's just so recent, is so super recent. It's just being covered in the manga, so I highly doubt that the producer is going to basically get out of his way and talk to Akira Toriyama and kind of try to find out how to put that into the game because it's just too premature. I'm pretty sure if they're going to do it, they're only going to focus on these two shows. Basically, this Father of Goku, a TV special, and this one, which is again a short movie adaptation from the Dragon Ball Heroes game. This is my point of view, guys. This is how deep this is going to go. In terms of side stories, of course, you may get some side missions and stuff. Potentially fighting against some of Freezer's goons, stuff like that, like some of his enemies. And hopefully, like I said before, hopefully Chilled is going to appear because that would just make so much sense for this game because it's a game and this was based on a video game, so why not, you know, add them together, chain them together and have this content together with the TV special. From my point of view, it makes so much perfect sense and people love it because they would get a transformation and it would just be so cool. I mean, I would love to play with Bardock and Super Saiyan. That would just be awesome because his Super Saiyan moveset is just so wild and just I love it so much, right? So hopefully that's going to happen. So in terms of content, if this is covered, that will be plenty of content. You don't worry, that's going to be enough. And remember, it's going to be a brand new scenario. It's going to be a brand new area. It's going to be a brand new world to explore effectively because they have to build Planet Vegeta. They have to build a lot of things, of course, in the game, which were not there in the beginning. So that means that doesn't matter how long this is going to be, 10 hours, 12 hours, 11 hours, 14 hours. We know for sure that we're going to get a new area, a new world, and of course, new enemies, new characters, new models. And that is just freaking amazing. But guys, that's it for today's video on how deep this is going to go. And from my point of view, like I said before, these two episodes are going to be the main ones which are going to be covered in the DLC. This one, obviously, yes, 100%. This one, I would say 50-50 more or less. Right now, I am on the fence purely because this was based on a video game and it's not based on the canon manga. This is the only reason why I am right now on the fence with this one, and this may not be included, which would be quite sad because transformation missing in the DLC, that is quite sad. But guys, that's it for today's video. Of course, as always, I shall see you in the next one.